Whoa. It's never right. It's never going to be right. Welcome to season 3 of Not Another BL podcast. Hoopity hoopity hoo. This is Kelli, BLChef, and...
Oh, I'm Shannon, BLGossipGirl.
And I'm Heather Lee, RedIsTrying.
Woot, woot, woot. And we're back. Barely. We're here.
We're more back than we were before.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
We took a little, we thought we were going to plan a break, but we didn't plan it. It was a break.
It just happened.
And now we're back. So since we're back after a long period of time, it's season 3.
Well, this really is the 3rd year.
Oh, you're right. There you go.
We started in 22 or 23, and then last year, and then this year. So it really is our 3rd season, technically.
Yeah.
Or just seasons are different lengths each time.
It's what we could do when we could do it. Life happens. That's basically how this is run. Life happens, and we make room for life. But we're here. And quite a few of you were asking where we were, and so here we are.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
Better than ever.
What are we talking about?
Do we want to talk about New York first?
We can.
We
went to New York.
We all went to New York. We all saw each other in person at the same time.
Yes. It was the first fan meet on the East Coast, which was a big deal. And so I know I was pushing, all of us were pushing really hard to make sure it was successful, because it is hard for a lot of us to get to the West Coast. Like the cost alone to get to the West Coast, and then the cost of the events, and then trying to have a nice time on, it's a lot of cost. And so, it was great that people were coming over, but they were only getting like a West Coast experience. And I don't want that to end, by the way. Yeah. Continue doing West Coast. We just wanted something else over here, or mid coast, just other locations, so other people would have an opportunity to participate and show them that there is a quite a large U.S. contingent once you move out into other areas. So I was really happy to see everybody show up for New York.
Yeah, and for me, I'm Midwest, so I was gonna have to travel quite a distance, a same distance either direction. But I had more friends and more people that I would enjoy spending more time with on the East Coast. So if I was gonna go to one, it would be East Coast, so that I could see all my friends and all the people that share the same interests as me.
Yeah. Everyone was going to the East Coast, and I was like, that sounds like fun. And it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then we're having Gemini 4th here in Denver, which was so random. But please keep us on the list.
Yes.
And so that one's going to be next. So I hope they just keep popping fan meets into like the randomest towns. And
I hope they move it around and don't stay in one place.
Yeah.
I'm used to going to Chicago for all of the things that come over, because that's the closest to me. Yeah. But if a couple could go to like Kansas City or Denver, I can do that. I would be more than willing to figure out how to make that work. I can't always go to the East Coast, but if I'm going to, it'd probably.
It's because the U.S. is just so big.
It is so large.
It does make it easier if they're like Kansas City. That would be, and it's cheaper to just stay there.
I was going to say,
it was like a 3-hour drive for me. So
New York was fun, but it's crazy. Even when you live on the East Coast, it's expensive.
Yeah,
it is. There is a lot of money. And I think that it's important to remember, we want to be supportive, but a lot is going on in the US. Let's be real. Yeah. A lot is going on here that is financially devastating to a lot of people. So for us to be able to even do this is crazy. And it's a lot of sacrifice to be able to go and participate. So the cheaper, the better.
Yeah. And I mean, I know it's really hard on them, and they can only have so many days, and getting visas are difficult, and all that stuff
now too.
I know. And so I'm willing to take whatever they can do over here, but if they could plop a few like middle south is questionable, but I there's many people there as well. So like if we could disperse maybe every once in a while, throw somebody else somewhere.
Yeah.
It would be nice, but I'm just grateful that they're trying to come over here. I know it's not easy and I'm grateful every time they do, but I feel really bad because I was like, there's tons I'd go to. I was like, between lodging and travel, we're gonna even like just say I can afford a ticket. Traveling and the travel and everything is just difficult.
So much. That's why I'm not doing Gemini 4th. I can't. It sounded great, but the time off work too. Like the time off work, the travel, it was a lot. It's a lot, and to turn around and do that again after I just did put all the money into this one, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, the turnaround's going to be too tight for me to go to the Denver one for Gemini 4th, which makes me sad because I could probably make it there within and just drive and not kind of really think about it. But turnaround's too tight for my wallet, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I get it.
So I'm going to live vicariously for Shannon.
I was like, the only reason I could do Gemini 4th is because I'm like, I live here.
Yeah, it's in your town, so it's a drive.
Yeah. And I was like, whoa, ticket prices. So, GA.
How much more expensive is the GMM one? Is it around the same or is it more? I didn't look at the prices at all.
The general ticket was $65. And I don't know how much the other one. I think they're pretty comparable.
Okay. Yeah, I think they're similar. I think I bought for 2, so my brain can no longer remember how much I bought for. But I think it's slightly the same, if not. I feel like they're a little less, but I don't know. New York, I had expected it to be higher because it's a New York theater. So
Denver, I think, had the cheapest tickets.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's location
so based on location.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And I'm excited. I've seen shows at the theater it's at. So I'm excited. I'm like, I know where it's at. We're gonna show up. We're I already have I meet up with people in Colorado and we all watch BL together. So we have our little meetup and I'm like, everyone, we're meeting up before you and then we're gonna walk on over and we're gonna do this and it's gonna be fun. I'm very excited.
I think I enjoyed the Daou Offroad part of the event, but I really enjoyed getting time with people.
Yeah.
And the just seeing everybody and then, getting talked into karaoke and it actually being a good time because I really wanted to go to bed. And then
there was we had a half a table. Half of us were like, yeah, I'm ready. I can go. And the other half's like, and somehow the entire table went. And we're like, how did
I
we
went
all
to the bathroom and I came back and my sisters were like, you're going to do this. And I was like, we have to get up so early.
It convinced you. Well, mostly because it was so early by the time we would get done. And they're like, wait, I could do an hour. We were there much longer.
We did not do an hour.
Well, that's how I convinced Sarah. I was like, just go for an hour. Because she wanted to see Dee Dee and everybody. And and I was like, just go for an hour and then go home. And then we stayed much longer than an hour. And then this one convinced Tara and I to go to Stonewall, which was a great idea until she wanted cheese fries in my room until 3:30 in the morning. And then it was a less good idea. But by then we were too late.
Okay. I made sure that Tara also wanted cheesy fries before I ordered. I don't know if she still wanted it by the time we got home, but when we were ordering in the car, there was enthusiasm.
There was. The enthusiasm did not go with our room, though. It was the cheesy fries, not the room.
Yeah, but I had to bring it to you.
You didn't have to bring it to us.
How was she going to get her cheesy fries if I didn't bring them to her?
She can go to you. She has legs.
Oh, no, remember, my room was off limits. Because my room.
Yes, and you had to pick it up downstairs.
Yeah.
Where tables are with people.
You know what? Anyone could have suggested these things. That could have been a suggestion, but instead everyone went with my
so I didn't have to do suggestions because I wasn't the one asking for the food.
So I'm just saying.
And
I was in my room, so I
you
missed
told
it
us
all.
you were coming to our room. Like this was not an option for debate.
I will just say I'm flexible. All I say is I'll meet you downstairs. I'll say okay.
Warning to anybody who goes out with Shannon. You never really actually know what's going to happen at the end of the night. So just be prepared for no sleep and anything goes.
I was in bed because we had I was hosting PP Crit Fan Meet. Oh no, pajama party both mornings. So it's a sleepless weekend in general because we were getting up early, crazy early both mornings, crazy late both nights. Well, I try not to do too late Friday night, but overall it was a good time. Had a lot of fun, got to meet a ton of people. Yeah, it was a super fun, good time. I would love to do something. Nope, I'm going to hold that. Yeah, you don't have to put everything out in the atmosphere. I am learning. So there is a thought that I had been talking about with Sarah. I don't know. I can't remember if I talked about it with you guys, but I will hold it for.
I was there. I don't know if
Okay. I'm like, you know what? We don't need to discuss that here.
I did really enjoy meeting everybody though. Like,
yeah,
it was a madhouse trying to get in or out of the venue or whatever, but it was fun because it was like every time I turned around, I was like, friend that I see in person now. This is so great. Like it was my biggest issue was my memory because I know people through like usernames and then they come up to me and say their real name and my brain is like blanks out. Like, I'm sorry. I tried.
I made them pull their phone up and show me their TikTok picture.
Oh, that's smart.
I said, show me. And then they showed me. I went, I know who you are.
Oh, that's right. Because you remember them from the pictures too.
Yeah. I wasn't.
So I'm like,
yeah.
I didn't even try. There was so much going on and so many people. This was my thing. Hey, oh my God, it's you. Hi, what is your name? Okay, do you do hugs? Yes, okay, hug. Okay, moved on to the next. Because I knew I wasn't going to retain anything. There's too much. It was too much happening. So I will say though, the second day looked super fun.
It did.
And I got a little pouty. And then my sisters were like, so you're happy the second day had such a good time, right? And I'm like, yes. We had a good time too, but man, did day 2 have a good time. So
yeah.
If anyone's listening, let's make sure those 2 days are just as good a time. The same amount of good time.
I do know a lot of it's like they ironed out the kinks after the first one. Yeah. And I'm really happy that they didn't have the same issues the second day.
Yeah.
But I am seeing the second day after like it's not like I could stay longer. I couldn't change my flight. I couldn't do anything like that. Like, and not having the option of going to that second day really hurt. Still being really close to that city and not being able to go.
It's hard for me to watch day 2. I'm trying not to be salty. My sisters
but I'm so glad that everybody had that second day. Like, I'm glad second day went so well. They had a lot of fun. And it looked like the off-road, like, really shook off a lot of the nervousness they had.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that they got that second, like, wind. But as a first day only person, I wish that I had some of second day's fun.
Yeah.
But I had a great time on the first day. And I wasn't really sure what was going to happen because it's the first fan meet that I've been to. I've been to concerts, but I haven't been to like a fan meet before. And so I was really nervous about what it was going to be. And it was really fun.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
My sister's fully into it now. So not my sister Nikki, the other sister that wasn't like, that was only sort of into it. She's like
the one that got into it because you guys were leaving her out. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was the fan meet. She went there and she was like, oh, this is actually really fun. And these people are fun. And these actors are fun. And so that's what's gotten her.
I'm glad they enjoyed it.
Attention. Yeah. So we'll see Shannon? With more to come. Yeah. Shannon gets to go to Gym 4th. Yeah. And then we'll see. They announced another something coming, but it'll depend on when.
Oh, yeah. I was like, who did? No, starstruck.
Yeah, they haven't said what they or when. They just said something
Yeah.
else and asked who we wanted. And honestly, I think if they're going this route, I'm glad they're asking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't.
That's a really
I
smart
don't
way
think
to figure
it'll
out who
do
to
much,
bring
but
back.
like just having that kind of like
Yeah.
knowledge out there of who people are asking for.
Yeah, who everyone's like putting in the comments of who they want to see.
Because I think it does matter. I think you don't. Not everyone is built for family. You know what I mean? You gotta have like a whole personality where he can work a room. He doesn't actually need an MC. It's a nice to have. But I think he could do that without one. Like he knows how to keep us engaged, work the room, make sure Offroad is feeling comfortable so he can work the room. Like you need people that are fun, engaging.
I also liked how they played off of each other. Like that was really good at like playing the room or whatever. But then you have Offroad was a little bit nervous at the beginning, but towards like the game section, like the first game,
he was hilarious in the game.
He was hilarious, and he was clearly like being able to play off of each other, and then being able to do that. I think the MC was fine and great, and then all that stuff. But like, just seeing them be able like Daou could probably have done that on his own with how good his English was.
Yeah,
and it was just like it was impressive, but I do agree with you. I think you need to have that kind of personality to do a fan meet, like to its fullest potential, unless you have somebody else that can bounce off and kind of pull you out of your shell while you're
a really strong host who really knows how to engage the crowd, keep them excited, show them how to have. You have to be. It needs to feel like a party to keep that kind of room's energy up, and the host has to like create that feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. I don't know what else to. I was just there for the ride. I've never been to a fan meet, nothing. Had no clue what I was headed into. Oh, and I'd done the virtual fan meets. Not at all similar, by the way.
Not at all.
Isn't that like minute video call thing? That's not at all the same thing.
No, not at all. When we did the photos, I did stand next to Offroad. And I did just have that moment where I did have a moment where I was like, it felt like I was standing too close to him. And then I look at the photos and I was like, we're miles apart. I was just so very weird.
Whole new brainwave to your room for Jesus kind of situation.
Yeah. Someone actually was saying I should do some room for Jesus with somebody. It was really funny. But I felt like doing it with that one because I was like, look, you could fit another person between us.
I don't know that after doing it, I don't know that I need to be like up and down. Like, oh, now you're going to touch your hands. Oh, now they're going to sign something. Oh, now you're going to sit in a picture. I don't know that I personally need all that. I didn't actually know all that was coming with the ticket I got. I just wanted a good seat. And then I was like, oh, I got to do all this other stuff. Like, I think maybe the picture signing was about enough for me. Like, I don't know that I need a picture. The high touch, I felt silly. They were perfectly nice though. They were so kind, but it was just like, oh, we sat down. Now we're getting back up again. Oh, we sat down. And there's a lot of waiting, a lot of just time to like just cycle through.
I was just standing outside during all this, so I didn't have to.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, okay, I guess I'll see them again. And I know this is just my personal thing, right? Like I know somebody else would love the fact that they got 3 chances to interact with them, and that's exciting. Yeah. For me, it was just like, oh, we're back.
Can see it twice. Like do like I can see the twice thing. Like if you do high touch and the signing at the same time, and then you get up to do your picture, I can kind of see that. The only other time I've done it is I went to an Eric Thom concert, and at the end, they gave us a signed poster that he had already pre-signed, and then we all stood in line to take the pictures with him. And that was just one time. So, but we waited forever for that. But I mean, I think it's different if you have to do it beforehand as well. I think that changes like how you can time things, but I still think
it was a tight it was a tight squeeze too. So like maneuvering all of that, and they were very in like a GMM zone of like, oh, keep it moving, go, go, go,
Yeah.
go. It was very much that. So I also felt a little anxious and frenetic, like going through, because I
Yeah,
was like,
not going fast enough.
oh,
Hey,
there's Shannon's, yay! Mine's
I do like that they
filed
put.
somewhere.
Diego showed me his, and that I do love that they put your guys' name on it. That
Yeah,
I think,
you got a piece of paper so they
yeah,
could
like
you
a sticky
could
note that
write
they could use
whatever.
to write your name. Yeah,
Yeah, I was like,
I
I don't know
love
what to
that.
write. I said, I don't know what to write. And I had just my name on the sticky note. He's like, well, your name's here. We can write that. I was like, all right, okay. And that was that.
I did not purchase the fan sign ticket. That wasn't my ticket. But my friend had a fan sign ticket, and they made the announcement. They were like, they will sign as many posters as you have. And I was like, done. And so I went to her and I was like, can you get it signed for me? Because we got one. I got a poster.
Mhm.
So I was like, here you go.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, that's really
Got
good.
them ahead of time.
The only thing that happened to me, because I got a GA ticket, and I'm grateful for my GA ticket. It was a great seat. It was great. But my raffle ticket got pulled in order to go up to
Oh, it
go
did?
on stage and play one of the games. And I do not trust myself on stage with these people. So I gave my ticket to the friend that I went with, Tara.
Oh, I didn't know
And
this.
it was she likes to talk about how much older she is than everybody else that's in our little group for the fandoms. And so she's like, oh, she says that she was a granny. She is in fact not a granny, but that is beside the point. She's like the old lady up front. And I was like, she enjoyed it. She had the best time. And she still squeals every time somebody plays Daou saying her name.
Aw,
It was
that's
like
so cute.
I was like, I don't think I can get you a better gift. So that's your gift for the year. That's all I got for you. But yeah, they are great. And I'm grateful that they came.
Yeah.
It was a good
And
experience for most of the people, at least.
I'm glad that was my sister's first experience, because they're the right people. Like,
Yeah.
they were so gracious and so kind and just really felt connected. Like actually connecting with you and paying attention
Yeah.
to you. In
And
a
they had a
way that
wide
felt really
array.
genuine.
Like they
Yeah.
had music and they did Q&As and they did games. So like it had a good chunk of all of they were good, well-rounded for her to see first.
Yeah.
So that's really
Let's
cool.
go to.
I also just really glad that I got to meet your family. So
Yay. Yay. I'm so glad they wanted to come. They got so into it. And all the decorations for the pajama party they did. Every single
and it was
bit of-
fantastic. I did not
yeah.
say that out loud, but I was dead. So I was like, we're lucky I made it to the room
My
alive.
sister messaged, she was like, I need something to focus on because the world is insane. So I'm focused. She does this for any party. She really she'll go to like secondhand shops and get like plates and stuff so that it all matches. Like, she's really good at being thrifty. And so a lot of that stuff, because of the tools she bought, are reusable. So she's like, I can use these for other parties that I host.
I love that.
So she was like, it's okay to spend this money because I can everything, even the balloon. No, not the balloons, but it came with a ton of balloons.
Yeah.
So she was like, send me pictures of his stuff and I'll pick out the thing to make it fit his theme. And I was just like, that was not me. I need y'all to know, if you were there, I didn't think of any of that stuff. I was just like, I'm going to get us there. I'm going to get it set up. I'm going to get the room.
I'm going to push
the button.
That's
all my brain could do. Hit the button. And even that was a little stressful, but I do like the idea of like us getting together and like watching something together, stuff like that. That was really fun. It gave us
like
time
an
to like
in-person version of your Twitch live things, and I really liked that.
Yeah, that's true. You got to talk to people.
Yeah, I liked showing up. Well, I liked going to your case. So because before we left to like go to New York, Kelli was like, no, you know, there's really not going to be this many people showing up. I don't think it's going to be that many people. And then also, I don't think anyone's really going to like recognize me all that much. So it was a lot of fun to see your event and like everyone show up and then be super excited for PP and Bilkin, and that they had watched your videos and like already knew like some of the info going in. That was a lot of fun. I think it was just like, it was a lot of fun talking to people who already had the information. So you could like go in and explain something. Everyone had the background info and they would be like, oh, okay. They were like catching up.
That's not an experience we have very often outside of our group, like our messages. So being able to be in person with somebody and be able to say a word that to other people doesn't mean the same thing. And they're like, no, but then be able to say it with like other people in person and actually make sense is like, see, I need this more often because then I don't feel like I spend half my time explaining what I'm talking about.
I was excited the second day. Some people came because they just heard it was fun. So they weren't super into Bilkin and PP. They just heard it was a good time.
Well, your sister was inviting everybody. So
yeah, she was. And they came and they got, I felt vindicated. So sometimes I'm like, well, maybe this is just something I like, you know, and it's not for everyone and that's fine. But by the end, they were like, no, we're on board. We like them. We're waiting for the wedding. Like, no, we get it. And I was like, oh, yay. No, this was a great show. This was another level. And I'm like, see, I'm not gaslighting you guys. It really is a good time. It really is good. I honestly did not expect that show to be that good. I was kind of in shock, honestly.
It was really good. And the concert, the outfits, every time, I know, and this is not the first event that I've watched him do, and every time his outfits always just like gag me. But it was just like, I was sitting there and half alive me is like only focused on this man just sparkling fairy dancing around. And I'm just like, what's happening?
You know, when he's flying around, like he's the angel and he's flying around. So that they had just built that apparatus and it was used for the first time at PP's event. So it was built specifically for his event and it's now new technology that they can use at Impact Arena. That's crazy.
Yeah. It reminded me of a couple other events that I've been to because like, or not been to, but I've watched like JK in BTS. He had an apparatus similar to that where he flew around the stage, like or around so when he was doing that, that's all my brain could see was Jungkook flying around their thing. And then there was another one that the Grammy performance that they did. He came down from the ceiling.
Oh, I remember that where he came down. Yeah, I remember that.
So that's what it kept reminding me of. I was like, he just took, like, I wasn't saying that he took it from the, but I was like, my brain's like, he just took that and stuck a giant diamond on it. And I'm like, that sounds very much like a PP thing that would happen.
Listen, I think, oh, go ahead.
I don't know. I was just saying, I loved when, like, all of a sudden it was like, oh, he is standing on a diamond.
No confusion there. It felt right, like a diamond.
Yeah, I felt like the most creepy thing that could happen at that concert was he was like,
yeah.
When
it didn't make me as nervous as the acrobating thing.
Oh yeah, when he had hooks and things this time.
I know, but like that one made me more nervous than the diamond. The diamond, he looked very much on a platform and very well secured, very sparkly belt, but very well secured. And that one made me way more comfortable than when he did the one where he was like fighting the thing. The diamond did not make me nervous.
I feel like he does do a lot of referential stuff, which I think he's well aware of. Like when it first opened up, I don't think you were there yet. But when it first opens up and the people rise up and they're all on the risers, that was.
Oh no, I was there. I was there from the beginning. I was late. So was he. So I was fine.
Yeah, there it is. But like that was beyond. Like that was 100% Beyonce, and so I was like, oh okay.
Yeah.
Like I do think he picks from his faves,
which is
right,
which is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
take something and make it yours. Like that. That's fine. I had when I was making that comment, it had nothing to do with. I think what he did was insane and fantastic, but my brain that is half alive with like 2 maybe hours of sleep was like, Is he going to start flying? Because I'm not sure I can handle him flying right now.
Yeah, the Thai people said that he set a new standard for Thai concerts. So now,
didn't he say that last time too, or
yes,
was that
he
Brookins?
continues to put the pressure on these freaking Thai artists, where they're like, Jesus, okay.
I feel like we're already just trying to go do a concert.
Bus had a concert this weekend, and they Kapono danced in water. Did you see his dance in water?
I did.
Was a dirty dance. I'm like, you're young. I know he's not anymore, but in my mind, he's like little Kapono. You know,
He's still baby.
There's no L. I've been corrected so many times. I am so sorry. It's Kapono. There's no L. I always put L at the end, and it's not there. But he said in his interview, he watched Pee dance in water, and he was like, I'm going to do that. I want to dance in water too. If he can dance in water, I'm going to dance in water. And that's why he danced in water.
Sounds about right.
Dirty dancing. Well, that was a good start to fan meets, and I hope we have more and more and more.
Mm-hmm.
I know. Now
I do feel like it brought us back, though. I think all of us were kind of in like a brain lull, not lull, but like we had been so overwhelmed by so many things at the beginning of this year. And I feel like that really restarted at least my brain to like be able to like kind of come back and want to be involved in things again. So
yeah. I don't know if it was exactly the fan meet per se, but like just being able, because so much shit happened before in my life before that fan meet showed up. And like one of the big ones was like almost 3.5 weeks before that fan meet, we got the flu for 2 weeks straight. And then after the flu, there was an ear infection in the household. And then 2 days before I was supposed to get on a plane, my kid was like, there's a pain in my right side. And I was like, so just being able to like get out and be somewhere. And then be around so many people who like talking about the same thing as me. It was so nice. Like I got home and I was like, I'm a person. I'm a person with interests, and I'm fun to talk to, and I love talking to people. Like I had this whole moment where I was like, "That's right." I was telling my roommate Christy, and she was like, "You remembered you're more than a mom," and I was like, "I did remember I'm more than a mom." You know, it was so nice. So like that part was really, really nice. And so now I'm like back of him, like I need to remember this. I need to go do more things.
Well, I think for me too, it was because coming out of, the dance world that I was in was all encompassing, and I was quite a big, I was a feature in that. Like I had made my way up to the top of that. And so it was every weekend. It was during the week. I was traveling the country. You know, I was DJing till 5 a.m. And it was my whole world for 14 years. And so I think it was interesting. My sisters were worried about me, you know, people around, because I had walked away from this thing that had been all my things. And I had convinced myself that this was a thing that I had found to fill that space. And so it was good to be, you know, if the weekend hadn't gone nicely, I would have been like, oh, is this a thing that filled my space? But no, it was perfectly fine. We had a good time. My sisters were like, oh, okay, you're fine. These people are fine. Everything is good. Like, this is, like you said, like, this is a real thing that real people enjoy. And people hang out and have real conversation together. And it's totally okay. So it was a good validation moment of like, I made the right choice in what hobby I had moved into.
It's a little funny because I don't think when I started watching BLs and making videos, at no point did I think I would be at this point.
Hell no.
Meeting you guys.
No. Not even a little bit.
No. And where I am, nobody is into anything similar to what I am. So it's really disorienting most of the time. Going from like my internet persona, for lack of a better word, to the real world. Because I actually have to work with normal humans, unfortunately.
Normal humans.
I was
So like
"Thanks for
it was really nice to see so many people in one location that are real and interested in what I'm interested in. Because like it's
Yeah.
getting easier for me to find people that are interested in K-pop, though still not as far as I am, but like BL and like Asian media in general, or you know, media in general, like those topics are still not readily available or readily talked about in my
Right.
general location. So it was just really nice to be able to be around people that have similar interests. Though I am not as extroverted as Shannon, so when I came home, it was kind of nice to not be talked to for like half a day.
Made me sad.
I know it did. I know it did.
I know.
I shut down. I was just like, okay, enough.
I needed sleep. That's all I wanted. Like I didn't.
Yeah,
I don't want to talk to
sleep,
anybody. I just
my
want
own
sleep.
bed.
I'm just so glad that they found out I was deficient in iron and vitamin D before that trip, because I was going. I was.
You didn't
I
stop.
was going. Yeah. If I had not been taking the supplements, I'd have been falling asleep just randomly places.
I'm shocked I didn't get as fatigued as I thought, because I do still. I'll get fatigued sometimes, but
Yeah, it didn't
I was
fully hit
taking
me
the
until
medicine.
Monday. I don't think mine didn't fully hit me until Monday, but that's because like I wasn't forcing myself to go anywhere Monday. Monday was like a
Yeah.
we got to the Airbnb and we're like, well, we could either go out and go get food, we can go explore DC or something like that if we really want to, or we could just stay. And all three of us were like, stay. Because we still wanted to be around our friends, but we didn't want to move again. And so after the 4-hour train ride the night before, and it was just like, we'll stay here.
Excuse me.
We're done.
I was gonna say something about it's gone. It's gone.
I realized that I came from a high altitude down to sea level, because I don't think I thought I was going to need my inhaler more. I did need it. When was it? We were at Stonewall.
Yeah.
And then we were at the Drag Performance. And the only reason I needed it is because they put out the smoke.
That was for a very valid reason.
Yeah.
The fog machine.
Fog machine. Yeah. And it was funny because before I saw the fog coming, I was like, what's happening? And then it enveloped. But I forgot, like, I went down to sea level, which was probably why I was like, I can walk through Manhattan for 5 hours. I can do all these things. Look at me. I'm like, I'm not even tired. And I was like,
I feel
yeah,
better.
See what I say when I get to you and I'm like, I can't breathe here. That's why.
Yeah.
I can breathe here.
I saw a video on TikTok, and it was they were filming their friend at Denver International Airport, just got in there and was already like leaning over. And
I hate it when I get a layover there. I'm like, Christ, I'm not going to be able to breathe till my next flight.
I don't have that issue because when I always drive. So when I drive, I have enough time to acclimate to it. I've never had to fly in. I've only ever drove to like from anywhere that I've ever lived. I've only ever drove to Denver. So I never understood when people would say that. And I was like, oh, that's because I've never flown in. I've always had the gradual, like suddenly, I think the only time might have counted if I fell asleep and somehow like the whole time that someone was driving. But even then I'm breathing. So like I don't think I noticed the difference that much other than like, you know, trying to hike on the mountain, but that was my own fault. I decided to do hiking, and that was
that's one where I'm like, if you're new, like people who are going to come out for Gemini and 4th, I need to make a little video where I'm gonna be like, hey, if you're coming out for Gemini and 4th, you're like, OMG, I'm in Colorado, I'm gonna go on a hike. Well, there's like a lot of laws here, like you can't go into the mountains.
You should do a PSA, a Denver PSA for anybody that's coming out there.
Don't fucking hike. If you're just coming out for this event, don't hike. You'll get sick. You'll miss the event.
Yeah. I think I was a kid, and so the thought process of don't do stuff that might hurt you was not there. And my mom and my grandma and all them, they're like, well, we're going to do this here, and we're going to do this here, and then we have dinner with your grandma. And I was like, cool. And so we went hiking, and then I came back, and I'm pretty sure I fell asleep at the table because I was like, I'm just kind of done with life right now. Please put me back to bed.
The sun started. You got sun.
Yeah.
What happened? I was just like, ah.
Well, this is gonna be really funny. I was talking to my roommate Christine. I was like, "Did you know that like a part of vitamin D deficiency is like pale skin?" And I was like, "So I might not be this pale." She was, but what I meant was I might not be the palest like foundation option that they have. Like I might tan. Like this could be something I could do. And she looks at me. She's like, "Oh, so you're saying it's not because you're Irish and the whitest person I know?" And I was like,
Okay, too much.
As somebody
much.
who also takes vitamin D, has red hair, and is basically translucent, I'm going to go with it's not the vitamin D deficiency.
I was like, maybe I'll be able to like go out and like tan and get like a summer change in foundation, but no, I don't. That's probably not going to happen.
I think with our last bit of time, maybe we can hit. Is it hot topics or shows we're into the most? I like something like that. Maybe what are our shows we're into right now, or topic or show? Pick whichever one.
Only hot topics on my brain. I don't know if we want to talk about. So
yeah, let's not.
Well, I'm fine.
Although
that's why I was like, it's up to you guys.
I'm fine with anything.
Shannon's like, I will go in.
I was like, I will discuss.
Let's just do it. Let's just go in because it has to be said at some point, I guess.
We can.
Can.
So the latest news, the hottest of hot topics literally happened yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, it got announced yesterday.
Yeah, because I was at work yesterday. Yep.
Yeah. Was it Friday? No, you were.
No, it was yesterday.
Too much.
I know. I was also at work today, so me saying that didn't help anybody, but I knew which work I was talking about. So yes, yesterday.
The announcement came that Leng would be separating as a partnership. I wish we could stop using the word breakup because it already gives this weird connotation.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't break up. It's so weird. I see it everywhere, and not just for them.
I say it.
People are like, huh?
I said I say it. I go. I was like, oh yeah, they broke up.
It's not like they were like dating and broke up. That's not what happened. Yeah. Their partnership ended. It's because to me
it sounds weird to say Leng ended.
The partnership.
She said partnership ended. Like there's an extra word in there.
Partnership ended.
Yeah,
their partnership.
I guess in my brain, in my brain, because I'm saying two people, it flows. Yeah, it flows.
People infer and break up.
Yeah,
they do, and so it feels weird. It's immediate. They create story just out of that word because they tie it to like a relationship, and they're like they broke because when people break up, there are always people taking sides in a breakup, and there's a good guy and a bad guy. That comes with the connotation of the word. And I find that when people use breakup, and it wasn't just Leng, I'm not just talking Leng, I just see like this, another couple's going to break up, and it's so dramatic, and it doesn't have to be that dramatic, but just using the word makes it even more dramatic, where I don't know, the intensity around all of this is just a bit much to me at this point. But like their partnership ended and they are going their separate ways. According to GMM, it was mutual. We don't know whether it was or wasn't, but that's what GMM is saying. And it just created a firestorm in the fandom and a lot of just...
There's a lot of blame game going on, and I don't think that's needed. I don't think it's needed. I don't think...
I had multiple people going at it in my comment section because the people had like chosen a side. It was this person. It was this person. This person never spoke up in defense of the other one. That one never spoke up in defense of the other one. It was this. It was that. I responded to two of them at one point, and I was like, at this point, I said, reading your argument is just sad. I was like, at this point, it's just sad reading this. And then one of them was like, I'm so sorry. I can stop responding. And they didn't. And they kept going. I was like, but
it was really odd. The people that, I guess it's not, because people want to voice their opinion no matter what. And if they don't see their opinion being represented, they're going to put it in a comment because they don't like that you're not saying things the way they would say it. And I literally was like, everyone's having this conversation in their own way. I just want to have this part of the conversation, not telling other people they can't have their. I just was like, I want to just normalize partnerships ending. I just want it to be less of a thing because I think it's going to happen more and more. And it doesn't have to be this dramatic. It could just be that if we as fandom stop putting so much pressure on that, then more of them will feel comfortable in making the decision that this is not working. I would like to move on.
Yeah.
And it could be that simple, but it always becomes this attack of this person did that. The company should have done that. This fandom did that. They did that. And it's every single damn time. And so I was like, I just wanted to express that piece. Mm-hmm. And my comment section is full of, well, he should have done that. Well, the company should have been this. Someone said, you're just downplaying the situation by not addressing what. And I was like, go make your own. This is my new line. If you want to talk about it, go talk about it. It's not my responsibility to talk your talk for you.
Yeah.
Go make a video.
This is a little funny because I have been seeing a comment pop up that is irritating. And it's funny because it sounds like we're on the opposite page, but I don't think we are. But the comment I see pop up that is getting irritating was, this is how I read it. It's just so you guys know. If you leave this comment on my page, this is how I read it. But it's, why are any of you surprised that they broke up? You should have just known never has just one partner. And that's one where I'm like, well, okay, pause. It's not so much that we're shocked they separated and they decided not to work. I was like, because in my mind, I'm like, this was a bit shocking. Kind of knew something was coming, but because they had 2 more shows. That's it. Not because we were like, this is like the
I keep forgetting. I'm going to be honest. I kept forgetting they had shows.
Well, and I never forgot that they had more shows. My brain, I was more shocked when they got the 2 shows than I did when they split this. Not because of anything like negative or whatever, but purely because we didn't know if they're because does tend to only go with 1 show for each partner.
Yeah.
Because he can have chemistry with anybody and he should show it. But at the same time, like when they got the next one after the not best response to Kidnap, that was what the name, Kidnap, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When they didn't get the highest praise for that, we weren't sure if they were going to get another show to show more, to try again or whatever. So when they got the 2 more shows, I felt like there was way more shock, at least on my end, where I'm like, wow, they got 2 more shows, even if one was just like a vignette or
anthology.
Whatever. Yeah. But it was like, I was more shocked about that than the split. The only reason the split was shocking was because of the 2 shows that they were in.
Yeah.
Which is what she was saying. And then I was like, but then I ended up spending more time being like, well, who would take those shows? Because if they announce the split, then they're not going to be together. So are they going to split them up and give each of them a different partner for whatever? Or are they going to replace them completely? Which it made way more sense to replace them completely.
Yeah.
Which did happen. And I'm grateful for the switches because the switches are exactly who I would probably put in there. But, yeah, I wasn't surprised by the split. And so people being surprised was more surprising to me because I'm like, I'm not sure where you were. I'm not.
It was, I think, well, because there were a lot of signs. I don't know even know if you could call it signs, but like.
Oh, we can call them signs, sure.
As so much as it was just like straight in your face. They weren't hanging out. They weren't doing work together. There was not work coming in for them.
Brands weren't doing them together. They were doing
they were having like solo stuff. Like
I don't think after Kidnap I saw them promoting or doing anything together until the showcase, which was even more surprising when they got 2 shows together on the showcase.
There was some of this where it was like, okay, so to me I was like, if they had done these 2 shows and then we never saw them again, I'd be like, makes sense. And then it happened before the 2 shows. I was like, oh, okay. Especially when one of them has already started filming. So that was like one of the things where it's like, who's going to replace? It was like timing. Because with what is it? Perfect 10-liners? Perfect 10-liners, they had time when Chimon dropped out to find someone to like do casting again.
Did they really? They were already
They
pretty
said they
deep
had
in
done
it.
casting with people and brought them in. But like with this one, I was like, oh, this one seems
Yeah, but it was
more
still a quick turnaround. They were in it for Perfect 10 Liners. They had filmed some stuff already for Perfect.
Yeah. Well, then but like with this one, they've also filmed, and I don't know where these people's story is on the filming schedule. So I was like, oh yeah, makes
I
sense
still
to
hold
me.
that it made sense that they could replace it now, based on the fact that since none of those stories interacted, unlike Perfect 10-liners, since none of those stories in this Mute Love, is that what it's called? Something like that.
It was my least interested show, I'll be honest.
Because none of the anthology one, none of their stories interacted with each other based on the trailer. None of those stories, they're each separate stories. So they could have started it and not have started and just been doing workshops for the Leng portion and not been filming that yet.
I'm going to correct myself, Shannon. I was thinking We Are.
Yeah.
I got those 2 shows confused. We Are had filmed, not Perfect.
We Are had to refilm a lot of stuff, yeah.
Because I was listening to you, and then I was like, what do you mean? Like, there was a bunch, and I was so impressed by the refilming that I'm like, no, that was We Are. Because this happened twice.
Yeah.
So that was why, but with this one that I was like,
you
don't know the behind the scenes, like if like, one of them wants to stay in it or not. Time wise, it just makes sense to pull in a ship you got ready to go. Like
I will say that they're getting better at it. I don't think I think you could do everything right, and partnerships are still going to end, and I think that's a good thing. I want it to stop being negative every single time, or like earth shattering. I think we need to normalize the fact that some of these guys shouldn't be partnered. Like they try, they give it the college try. Maybe the chemistry is not there, or they just don't meld well together, and they shouldn't be terrified in that partnership, because fans will never leave them alone, or one person is going to get villainized. And we can say the company all day, but even if the company did something right, everyone would still act up. It's an amalgamation of messy that if we could just recalibrate our brains to like a new time in BL where partnerships. It's such a weird thing to me too, because I hear so many people being like, "Oh, they should change partners. They should move around." But the minute people end something, everybody loses their mind.
Even when I was making the videos, because I was like, "Oh, like these are my thoughts, or this is what I think this person might do." I had to say, I'm like, "This is not a moral judgment on anyone." I was like, making changes in your job and your career is normal. This stuff is normal. None of this, like nothing I'm saying is like me being like, oh.
We do it in normal people jobs. Why can't they do it as actors?
Right.
Yeah.
I want to normalize people changing partnerships or whatever, just like Kelly said. I also want to normalize people leaving one company and going to another company.
Yeah.
It's very normal, especially in an entertainment scene.
Yeah.
It is very normal, which means if they go to a new place, they'll likely have a new partner, or they'll have a new, a vignette of like brain things that they have to do. Like at GMM, they might be the cute person, but at Change 21, they might be the villain in every show. Like you never know what they're going to do. The whole point is most of them also, please stop typecasting these people, because sometimes they do want to try something different. They want to be a bad boy or a villain or something like that. Not just the cute boy next door that you absolutely love them as. They want to grow their skills. And in order to do that, they have to take different roles. So like if we could stop negatively talking about these changes that people do naturally in their job just to keep their skills up, or to just try new things, or express themselves differently. If we stop talking negatively, then they can confidently make these decisions and grow, and we can watch them longer and enjoy them longer.
This is also, I think it falls into the whole thing of, I think, people get attached to companies, but I don't know. I'm like, companies are going to do things that really piss you off, and they're going to pull dumb shit, and they're going to make, you know, shady moves, and it's just across the board, they're going to do these things because this is like one. There's Fi and Yoko. They're also separating. Well, they're like Fi is left. The company is gone. But so much of the fan response to Yoko staying at this company is she's being manipulated. They manipulated her. She's stuck in a horrible contract. I made a video. I was like, guys, at a certain point, you just have to accept that. One, she's a grown ass adult. She's like 24. And then two, she wants to stay at this company.
Yeah.
And you don't have to like that.
Us staying at Wabi Sabi.
Yeah,
people aren't staying at Wabi Sabi when the whole contingent of Wabi Sabi came over. He got so many comments of, "Are you leaving? Are you coming? Why are you separating from?" I was like, let the person live. Like, just let them live, please. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
They're gonna make there was a lot where I was like, would I have stayed at that company? No. Do I like that company? No. But I'm also not her. If this is what she wants to do, she gets to do it. Like that's and like running around going, we have to save her. I'm like, from her decisions, her career decisions, like that one gets to be a lot. I'm like, you're not saving this person.
Yeah.
This is where I had to stop responding to comments because I was like, I'm in a very practical headspace right now, and I feel like people are in an emotional headspace about this. And like, oh, this person in my heart, and which I understand. It's okay to have those kinds of feelings, but also I'm like, we do need to talk about these businesses like businesses. Yes, they are here to make money. You know who's here to make money? The actors, the writers, the director, the company. Now, that's not to say that they also don't want to create something creative within that space too, but they are also trying to pay their bills and keep the lights on, and they can't do that if they're not thinking about the money they'll make. And then I'm going to say this. I'm just going to say it. Leng wasn't forced into a partnership with Ohm. And what was going on in fandom wasn't a secret to him. Yeah. You know, this idea that he was like drug into something and just he made a choice, a calculated choice, in my opinion, because he had not really gotten shows prior to that. He is not brand new to the industry. I saw somebody say that you can't rewrite history to fill in the story that you're trying to tell. He was in the Daou. He was in the Daou. He's been around. He's been around a minute. And I don't know his story. I don't know why he hasn't, had his big break yet. So it's not that he's new. This was his big break. And he made a choice to step into a partnership knowing everybody knew what was going on around Ohm and Nanan at that time. So it's not like he was dragged
and even at the beginning, he had made a comment, like both of them had made a comment that they were aware, and then they would go through and do as much as they could as a partnership. Like they said that at the beginning. So like Leng was fully aware of what he was walking into.
And I think again, this is why I don't like the word that when we get too much into treating them like boyfriends instead of coworkers, because they have, like you said, they're separate individuals. They get to make their own decisions. Also, their well-being is not the right responsibility of the other person. And I think that might be a tough line that I have. But like, you should be supportive, and all of this other stuff, but I cannot, there are some times where I cannot take care of myself and somebody else. You know what I mean? Sometimes I can't do that. Sometimes I'm not in the emotional space to do that. And there is a piece where you got to figure out, how do I handle this situation? Who am I in this moment? Because your career is your career at the end of the day. You might be in this partnership, but it's still your career. And you got to figure out, what's your next move? How are you going to do this? It can't be fully attached to the person you're partnered with. I hope they all know that. I hope they all understand that going into this. There has to be some kind of like practical business mindset to the process. I don't know. I stopped myself from saying that in my comments because I could tell people were like really emotionally tied to all of this, and sometimes I'm not, and I realize maybe that's hard for people to hear. I don't know.
But to go off of that, I would like to tell everybody, in case you don't follow any of these people. Ohm and Leng have both posted separately from the notification. And both of them look very happy with this decision. Like,
that's the thing.
I was like, none of them look like they're heartbroken. There are a couple splits, like partnership splits, that you could tell when one is a little bit more upset than the other. And
sorry, I'm just thinking. I'm thinking of a couple.
I was gonna be like, we have one happening right now.
like you can tell in some, but you also have to remember that these people are partners, and some of them have been partners for a long time and have a deep friendship or a trauma bond, or however you want to put it. So they might be upset, and it's not because they were boyfriends and there was a clear breakup and somebody did something wrong. But with this particular one that everybody is attacking either party plus one party's semi-fans, I would like to remind everybody that they are happy. And that is what we want. We want them happy. So as long as they're happy, let them be happy, please.
Yeah.
Like, this shouldn't be a hard concept. I shouldn't have to say these things, but I feel like we're so dead set on blaming somebody for something that nobody's upset about. So the blame can go away. That would be nice.
But to be fair, this is like one of the least dramatic ones we've had.
I know. I was like, this is the most
dramatic. Like as far as like the situation surrounding it and like all this other kind of stuff.
Yeah,
this is like the least dramatic one we have had.
And they weren't like in the middle of a project. They weren't like, there was nothing that they were like suddenly dropping out is suspicious.
People weren't blocking each other or unfollowing each other.
Yeah.
There wasn't a scandal dropping. It was just two people being like, hey, we're just not going to work together anymore. It's mutual. We're good with it. And then everyone was like, the horror. And I was like, whoa, this was like, and I even said, I was like, the most surprising thing of this whole thing was GMMTV being on top of it, putting out a cohesive statement.
This is what I say. And people are pissed with them too. And I'm not riding
ready with like they're no longer in these shows, and this is who's replacing. Not they're no longer in these shows. We're deciding who was replacing from the beginning.
Now people are mad about
on top of something. So this means this is not like right now.
People are mad that they had somebody ready. They were like, they knew this was coming.
Yes.
They were literally their job. You're doing your job. What do you mean?
I'm so sorry that for once they did their job relatively correctly. I'm sure it'll go away by the end of the year. We're just like.
And I've seen this language. Well, they took let me watch my time. They took a show away from him, and I'm just like,
he could have had it. They could have done it.
In the entertainment industry, nothing is yours. I'm sorry. There is just this Pollyanna kind of like treatment of like, they treat them better. They deserve more. No. Y'all, if they were in Hollywood, people get a pilot. They shoot 2 episodes. The show gets canceled. No, nothing. Just goodbye. Everything gets ripped out. Like, this is not the worst that
there are shows all over the place in Asia, whatever. They have filmed the entire show.
That part.
They could even film 2 whole seasons, and nobody ever gets to watch any of the show.
Yep.
Would you Baker?
This is not new.
No. Poor show. We'll never see it. Oh, it's sad.
People got so mad at me because I kept like being like, yeah, Dumb Monday, when we're never gonna see shows, blah 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 blah. And they're like, did you talk about other companies as well? I was like, yeah. If you've ever promised me a show and I haven't gotten it, I am going to keep talking about you this way.
If I find out that there is a show sitting on a cutting room floor at any point, I will bring it up all the time.
I still talk about Addicted in season 2.
Yeah, that's the first one that came to my brain. I was like, season 2 of Addicted is filmed.
It's filmed. And
we
so
didn't
in
even
the
get the first one and the entire second one is
it's so
this is not new. So at least we still get this damn show. We just get it with different people, guys.
Nothing
That's
is
what we
promised. It's the entertainment industry. I don't know what you guys think this is. They don't. I would love this idea that they deserve these things and that they should have the fact that they're getting what they're getting. The fact that these guys have work consistently is beyond half of Hollywood. Over half of Hollywood at this point, because they're getting replaced by like AI and stuff like that. So I think
coffee
we all
shops
need to
survive off of all these people that you love so much.
My sisters are ready. I have to go.
Okay.
We can let you go.
All right.
Sorry, guys.
It was a great first episode back.
Yay.
It was.
So, oh my God, it's been too long. I don't know if I can do this anymore. Thank you for everybody for coming, and leave a comment of anything you want us to talk about, any shows that you're super excited. All of us are kind of getting back into a routine, so we can start relatively talking about things more frequently. Please follow us on all of our socials. We each have our own on all platforms: YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. And then we will be back when we can. And I'm sure there's more words that I was supposed to say, but I'll figure it out for the next time.
Totally fine.
You did great.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.